Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be all about the books that I'm hoping to read during the month of November, so my November TBR. I'm going to be honest, I feel like November, my wrap-up is going to be very different from my TBR because I don't really know what I'm in the mood for, but I have a good pile of books that I am hoping will help me decide. I feel like I'm going to be playing catch-up because the end of the year is so close, it's kind of crazy. I'm trying to finish some challenges. There are books that I really was hoping to read this year and I still haven't. I still have a few like mystery thrillers I'm hoping to sneak in for the fall. I really want to also get back to fantasy. I don't know. And I feel like it's Christmassy with the green of the wall, my red shirt. It's weird because I'm not ready for Christmas, but let's get to it as Claudia is yelling for her life at the door. She never leaves me alone. She never does. And for everyone that thinks I should let her in, I would, but I'm currently decluttering my clothes and there are too many things everywhere and I don't want her to get hurt or hurt my things, really. So I will continue to fuel my life. So we're going to start with the Patreon book club pick of the month. I gave you some options and you decided to go with The Bell Jar, which I'm going to be including this book in a specific reading vlog challenge that I don't want to spoil. You're going to have to wait for the surprise, but this will be in that vlog that week. This book had been on my TBR for years and years and years because I had read this quote and it hit a little too close to home because you might not know this about me, but I'm definitely, what's that saying? Like I've tried everything, but like I'm a master of nothing. That is me. Education-wise, I'm from Quebec, Canada, so we have Cégep, which is 2 years in between high school and university. It's basically classes that are equivalent to university, and I did it in natural sciences. So I did like 3 physics, 3 chemistry, 3 math, 2 biology classes. Like, I'm really in love with science. But I also have a minor in French literature. I clearly love books. I have also a beauty channel, so I love fashion, makeup, skincare, hair stuff. I also went to law school. Like, this is so me, and I wish I could live 50 lives, at least, to try everything, but you can't. So I really related to that quote, and I've been wanting to read this book. I've also seen this book on so many lists of like book clubs, must read, everything that made me want to try it. I have since heard that some things in there did not age well, so I will be prepared for that. But I feel like it is time for me to read it, so I'm glad you guys picked it up so we can read it together. But this is the book. It's not super long. I believe the main character is depressed, which, I mean, that quote would depress anyone. So it's on my list. I'm hoping I will enjoy it, but we'll see. We'll see. I feel like when something has been on your TBR for so long, you don't know if you will love it or not. When there's so much hype too, will I have an unpopular opinion? Will I also agree with the hype? We'll find out in November. I also wanted to include a book by this author. I do also have The Vegetarian somewhere. I didn't grab it, but I also have Human Acts by Han Kang, which she has recently won, I think it's the Nobel Prize, and I think it was for The Vegetarian, so maybe I should pick that one book. But if you've read both, let me know which one is the best one. But she won over Murakami, and if Murakami has no haters, I am dead. So I feel like I need to read one book by her, so maybe November will be the time. I believe this one specifically is like more historical fiction, kind of literary fiction, and is based on real events that have happened in Korea. I believe it's a student uprising, and you're following a character who is trying to find the body of her friend that passes away during those events, something like that. So in general, I just need to read something by her because I have to support her after that. So that's on my TBR. Hopefully I will get to it this month. I also have been reading some nonfiction. I'm currently reading this one, which I'm not too far into it, but I do enjoy reading about women's history because when you realize that everything in history, everything that we've learned in history tends to be from a patriarchal lens. I've been wanting to explore it and like read some older feminist work. Not everything has aged well. I'm not far enough in this one to recommend it, but I do like that topic, so if you have any recommendations, feel free. But otherwise, I'm not too sure what to read for nonfiction. I feel like I've been trying to just go with the flow and just pick up what I'm in the mood for. I've been trying to go through, they're all here, the ones that I have, and so far it's been going fairly well in the last couple of weeks. I do have this one that I started that I might continue. This is Bullshit Jobs, which is about how in capitalism we tend to create a lot of jobs that are pointless and how it affects us because we feel like they are pointless. So I might actually end up continuing this one because, again, I do think this is a really interesting topic. I don't know how I feel about a whole book on the topic. Like I said, I've only read the first chapter, and the author had started with an article, which I feel like this makes sense for an article. I just don't know if I want to commit to a whole book on the topic, but a lot of you did read it and liked it, so I might have to try it. And again, I think I'm just gonna figure it out whenever I am done with these. So I was mentioning how I'm still trying to read a couple mystery thriller horror. I feel like I've moved on for fall. That's why I'm feeling very Christmassy, weirdly. Not mentally, but like, but if I am in the mood to read one more, it has to be this one because They Never Learn sounds like a really interesting premise. I finally got around to reading Gone Girl, and I am in the mood to read more about like messed up, complex female character. And this one sounds like it's going to be like that. The main female character is a professor at a university, and every year she picks the worst man on campus and murders him. Which that sounds like a kind of book that you will label as like good for her or like kind of revenge female story. I don't know if that's actually the case. That's just the vibes I was getting from the summary of the book. I think this would be the one I would be picking if I were to read one more. So I'm including it on my TBR because why not? I was mentioning how I want to go back to fantasy, and yes, absolutely. I will have started whenever the month actually ends, although right now I haven't yet, but this is going to be the next one that I start, and it is Beneath the Keep, which is the prequel to the Tearling series. I've mentioned how I really, really enjoyed this series, so I wanted to throw out there that I should have started that one whenever November starts. So I should probably finish it. Now, for my first vlog of the month, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I feel like I'll probably try to go for something cozy just because I am trying to catch up. October was a little rough, but things are looking up at the moment. I just don't want to overwhelm myself, which I find it hard. Do you feel the same? I feel like it's hard for me to just take things slow, not overdo it when I'm feeling good. I feel like I always want to take this opportunity to just overdo it, but I have a friend that gave me this book because she personally really enjoyed the series, and I feel we have different tastes, but it could be fun. It could be fun. Definitely outside of my comfort zone, this is Captive Prince, which I had never seen this cover. I had seen this one. So I thought, oh, maybe I can pick it up. And then I saw this. I was like, I don't know if I can pick this up. How spicy is this? This is a fantasy romance series, like enemies to lovers. And I think it might be, yeah, the main character, one of them is captured. Is it a romance between, there's actually a blurb by V.E. Schwab. So this might actually make me pick it up. But I was thinking, back in the day, I ended up binge reading this other series when I had the flu. That was my excuse. I read a whole trilogy in one weekend. I just wasn't feeling well. And sometimes you just want to read something that is really readable. The Selection series, for a second, I forgot the title. So I thought maybe this could also be a thing. My library does have the ebook, so I might give it a shot and either binge read it or completely give up on it and give it back to my friend. So we'll see. It's a possibility. I'm trying to just give myself some options because, like I said, I'm not sure what I am in the mood for once. I usually am I know what I want to read, but I don't at the moment. So that's an option. Don't freak out if you think I'm going to hate this. We'll see. I might just give it a shot and, again, fever dream and just binge read the whole thing. A lot of you did tell me that, yes, it has some problematic stuff, but it's extremely readable and, like, it gets better and better as the series goes on. So okay, now let's talk about actual fantasy. I do think some of these could be favorites if I do get around to reading those. And I say that because there's this shameful book, which will this month be the month that I finish it? Probably not. Maybe I'll keep it for December because December I'm usually too busy filming so many videos. Although I'm telling you right now, if everything goes well, in November, I will start posting a video every 2 days. So I don't know how much it will affect my reading, but I might keep this for December. This is the third book in the Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive series. So this is Oathbringer, and I did start it and I was enjoying it, but there's just something about this book that terrifies me. I've been pushing it off years and years at this point. It's been, what, 2 years? But I started this year, I was enjoying it, and I just got overwhelmed. So it's still in my TBR. It will happen one day. I don't even know what to tell you about this one anymore. If I want something less intimidating, I do have this one, which is a standalone adult fantasy, which I have heard is kind of cozy. This is a new release, and it does have a blurb by Brandon Sanderson. And I feel like if this goes really badly and I want to continue in the cozy vibes, this will be what will save me. This one is inspired by, there's nothing in the back, I don't know what I'm looking, but the magical powers are inspired by dolls. Like, people create these dolls that are helping protect them against like demons. But it had, again, very few reviews so far, but the ones that were out there kept saying how original the world building, the magic system is. And I want to read more fantasy, but I feel like sometimes they tend to be repetitive. You see the same like Dark Ages or whatever inspired world building, which seems to be an excuse just to be problematic, but whatever. I wanted something different, and I've heard this one was kind of cozy, so this might save my first reading vlog. If we're being honest here, this is probably the one I should be picking for that first vlog, so I'll keep that in mind, don't worry. And if I feel courageous and I want to continue series, I did want to also sneak in this one as an option. I did read book 1 this year earlier. This is an echo of things to come. I really enjoy these covers, by the way, for some reason. Claudia. But book 1 ended up with a pretty big secret, let's just say that, and I want to know the answer, so I feel like I should include this in here. I might have to wait until next year, but if I end up reading a lot, this is definitely one of the ones that I want to get around to picking up. I feel like some months I end up picking books back to back to back and I can't stop, and some months it's harder, but I'm hopeful for November. I do have also 2 new releases that I wanted to give myself as an option. Maybe they can once again replace Captive Friends for my first reading vlog. You can try to convince me in the comment section, okay? Because realistically, if it goes really badly, I will read other things. If it goes well, I might just read the whole trilogy. We never know. But I do have this one. This is The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. I have seen that it has fairly bad reviews at the moment, but I have read so many books by the author that I want to continue. I want to, you know, have hope that this will work for me anyway. This is more of a contemporary, which again, there's nothing in the back. I believe it's when the main female character, one of her friends passes away. She lived in a small town, an island, and then she is given this house, so she goes there kind of to reinvent herself. I think the main character is depressed. The author tends to do that. He himself suffers from depression, and it has influenced his writing. So this seems to be a book that will be somewhat wholesome, hopeful, maybe. So I'm giving that option, even though my expectations are low because, again, the reviews have been bad, but I've enjoyed his books. And then if I want something a bit more light, a bit more fun, I do have this one. There's a cat on the cover. You know, I feel like I'm the crazy cat lady. I do have a cat yelling at me 24/7. So this is Start a Villain. Jen Scalzi in general tends to write funny books in general. This is kind of sci-fi-ish. You're following a character who, does he inherit his uncle's supervillain business? Yep, he does. So I don't know if a cat is actually part of that story. Hopefully there is one. So I have this one. It's not too big. So again, it could replace Captive Friends. So we'll see. It came out this year. I've read a couple books by the author. I think 2 of them actually just this year. So I've enjoyed his book. He does tend to write the same character over and over again, but usually it works and it tends to be funny, like dad jokes. So I want to continue. And in general, I feel like super villain stories work for me a lot better than superheroes. So now from the library, because I love using the library, I do have a few audiobooks mostly that I want to give a shot to. I do have Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda, if again I want to read a few more mystery thrillers before the end of the year. This one, once again, does not have great reviews, which is unfortunate, but I have read so many of her books. Do you do that too? I feel like whenever there's an author you've read over and over again, you just keep trying no matter what. She tends to write small town murder mysteries. I don't know if this one is one of those, but that's an option for me. Another book that is on my TBR, which I feel like maybe I am stubborn. I'm starting to realize that even though some books have bad ratings, I'm curious. I want to read them. And like, I don't always agree with people. I've done, by the way, in the past videos about books that have bad ratings on Goodreads that I still think are worth reading. I'll link that. If you forget, let me know. Sometimes everyone is wrong, you know, or that's how you feel. So I'm going to give it a shot anyway. And it is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So once again, if I want to read one more fall book, I think this one is a romance. And I've heard it's a little bit like Hallmark movie and maybe a little spicy, which is really not my cup of tea. But it's an option. I have the audiobook. I might pick it up. We'll see. I feel like a lot of the books that I'm waiting for from the library are audiobooks. And a lot of them are mystery thriller horror because I put them on my waiting list when fall was starting and like we're finally getting them, and I feel like I'm over fall already. This is weird for my reading only, because the fall weather, I'm loving it. You know, 15 degrees Celsius, the colors in the trees. I'm still for that vibe, but not for the books. I feel like I read so many in one go, but I have a couple and I will give them a shot once I get them. The first one is Incidents Around the House, which is a new release by Josh Malerman, which once again, since I put it on my waiting list at the library, the reviews have not been positive, which I wanted to give the author a last chance. I think this is going to be my third book by him. You might know him as the writer that wrote Bird Box, which was okay. And then I tried Booktube Mallory, which was not okay. But I wanted to give him one more shot, so maybe. I do have also another author I wanted to give one last shot to, and it is Leanne Moriarty, the author that wrote Big Little Lies, which is the only book by her I did enjoy. But she just came out with Here One Moment. I wasn't going to try more by her, but the premise sounded intriguing, so I added it from the library. I mean, it's free, so I might as well. So basically, there's this group of people on a plane, and then before they leave, this woman gets up and nobody knows her, and she decides to tell everyone how they're going to die, like a prediction. So I feel like I've read books with similar-ish premises, but I'm intrigued. I wanted to see how that one's going to go, and I haven't looked any reviews, so I don't know if it has good ratings or not. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm tired of seeing everyone giving bad ratings to books that I want to read, so I didn't check. I do have the ebook, The Eyes Are the Best Part, which is another mystery thriller that I kind of forgot what it was about because it's been on my waiting list for a couple of weeks now, and I know it also has fairly bad ratings. I'm starting to become resentful. I need to stop checking because sometimes you just really don't want to know. If I do want to try another fantasy book, I do have Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. This is the third story in the Secret Project series by Brandon Sanderson. Unfortunately, the first two I tried were flops for me. So I've been kind of reticent to try more, but a lot of you told me that this is, I think, the best one out of the four. So I have it from library as an audiobook, low commitment. If I enjoy it, good. If I don't, whatever. See, now I'm starting to realize why I don't know what to read in November. A lot of books that I was excited to pick up, I've heard awful things about, so I'm kind of left wondering what to do at this point. I have a few nonfictions too as audiobooks, which can be a really fun way to go through them. I have one about menopause, which is a bit early for me, but it's a topic that I find is not explored enough. I think it's so weird that a lot of things that affect health of women is just so unknown. Like half the population, we've done no research. So I wanted to support that and prepare myself in advance. I feel like perimenopause can start really early, and like if you want any help with that, doctors don't know anything, so it might not be that early for me to look into it. I have It's Not Hysteria, which I haven't heard anything about it, but I think it's really funny how, again, this topic is not talked about it enough. The full title is Everything You Need to Know About Your Reproductive Health, But We're Never Told. I feel like nowadays doctors will tell you that you have anxiety instead of hysteria, but like, you know what they actually think. So kind of get the vibe here. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, I think listing all of these books made me realize why I don't know what to pick up. Maybe I will end up just going in a completely different direction. Maybe I will go through all of these. I don't know. I just wanted to let you know what I'm thinking. There is like one fun challenge I want to do. There is my cozy one. And as always, there will be a read it or unhaul it because that's everyone's favorite challenge. I like it too. It's a bit torturous, but in a good way. And yeah, that's my November TBR. She said hesitantly. Feel free to convince me to skip or pick some of these because I do like to hear your thoughts. If you've hated everything on here, don't tell me. I feel like every time lately I mention, oh, I'm excited, everyone is like, it sucked, don't read it. And like, this is super valid. I like to hear actually your thoughts, but I feel like everyone hates everything lately. Every new releases, I don't hear anything positive about new releases. So if you have some, let us know in the comment section. I do want to know. So let's still be hopeful that November will be a good reading month, even though that list makes me hesitant. I hope you enjoyed this. Thumbs up, subscribe. I'll put more videos that I recommend you check out. I did post some fun one in October, so you might find things to check out, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Now I need to go get my revenge on Claudia. She's not here anymore. She knows I'm done filming. But I will not leave her alone now. It's my turn.